Welcome to my channel, where we journey to understand the past, utilize today's technology, and design the future. Today, we explore a shape so iconic it's recognized in the dark, the Coca-Cola bottle.
So it all kicked off with this one. Simple but super powerful challenge, a mandate that would completely change the course of design history. You got to understand, this sentence from Coca-Cola wasn't just, a design brief. It was basically a declaration of war against being just another anonymous bottle on the shelf.
But, to really get why this solution was so brilliant, we first have to understand the problem they were up against. And trust me, it was a big one. Coca-Cola was facing a massive identity crisis. See, in its early days, Coca-Cola's packaging was, well, it was boring, totally generic, and that made it a super easy target for copycats. I mean, look at this 1899 bottle, the Hutchinson style. It's just a straight-sided bottle with a metal stopper. Could have been anything in there, right? Even by 1906, when they switched to this amber bottle with the logo stamped on it, it was a step up, sure, but the shape itself was still so common it just got lost in the crowd.
And because the drink was getting so incredibly popular, a whole sea of imitators just flooded the market. You had these competitors with names that were so close, Coca-Cola, Toca-Cola, you name it. They'd slap a similar-looking script logo on a similar-looking bottle, and boom, total confusion for anyone trying to buy the real thing. The brand was getting watered down before it even had a chance to build a physical identity.
And this is where the real problem came in. They tried adding paper labels to stand out, but it was a complete non-starter. Why? Well, back then, you'd cool the bottles in these big barrels of ice water. And what happens to paper in water? Exactly. The labels would just peel right off and float away, leaving this mess of identical, anonymous brown bottles. You had absolutely no idea what you were grabbing.
So Coca-Cola had this light bulb moment. They realized they didn't just need a better label, they needed a package that was the brand. The bottle itself had to become their trademark, something nobody else could possibly copy.
And that's what led to the big challenge. In 1915, they threw down the gauntlet, launching a national competition for glass manufacturers. And the brief was that amazing line we saw at the beginning. The bottle had to be so unique that you could identify by touch alone, or even, get this, from its shattered pieces on the ground. How cool is that?
So who stepped up to the plate? The winner was actually this small company from Terre Haute, Indiana, the Root Glass Company, a team led by Alexander Samuelson with a key designer and sketch artist named Earl R. Dean took on the challenge. These guys had no idea they were about to become legends.
Okay, and this is my favorite part of the whole story. How they actually came up with the design, it's just this incredible, happy accident. A perfect case of stumbling into genius. It's wild, but the entire iconic shape was born from a total mix-up. The design team heads to the library to research the ingredients, looking for inspiration from the cocoa plant or the cola nut, but somehow they got their wires crossed and ended up looking at the encyclopedia entry for cacao, the chocolate bean. And there it was, an illustration of a cacao pod with these really cool distinct ribs running down it. It just jumped out at them. So Earl R. Dean starts sketching. The first prototype based on the pod, though, was a bit chubby in the middle. It was so wide it was wobbly and unstable on the factory line. So what did he do? He just slimmed the center down, and right there in that little practical fix, the iconic, elegant contour bottle was born. Amazing, right?
This new bottle got out there and pretty quickly picked up a couple of nicknames. Officially, it was called the Contour Bottle, a name that first appeared in a French magazine in 1925, but the public, they had their own, much more colorful name for it. They called it the Mae West bottle, a nod to the famous actress and her equally famous hourglass figure. You can totally see the resemblance, can't you?
Once the design was locked in, they rushed to patent it immediately, officially securing its unique shape in history. And here's a fun little piece of trivia. The patent wasn't awarded to the company itself, but directly to the design lead, Alexander Samuelson.
But locking down the patent, that was just the start. This bottle was on a path to becoming way more than just a container for a drink. It was about to become a full-blown cultural phenomenon. Seriously, it was transforming from simple packaging into a piece of art.
Its status as a true cultural icon was really cemented right in the middle of the 20th century. And there was one specific year that marked a major turning point.
In 1950, it achieved a milestone no other commercial product had ever achieved before. It landed on the cover of Time magazine. And think about that for a second. This wasn't some paid ad, this was Time magazine acknowledging that this object had transcended its commercial purpose to become a symbol of American culture.
From there, it became a muse for some of the biggest artists in the world. The surrealist master Salvador Dalí included it in a painting way back in 1943. And of course, who could forget Andy Warhol? He completely elevated it, making the bottle a centerpiece of the entire pop art movement in the 60s.
And Warhol just perfectly captured why the bottle and the drink inside was so powerful culturally. It was the great equalizer. He pointed out that a Coke is a Coke. No amount of money can get you a better one than the one the guy on the street is drinking. It became this incredible symbol of democratic consumerism.
So you have this design, born from a 1915 problem that became a massive 20th century icon. But now it's facing a whole new challenge, a very 21st century challenge, one that is completely redefining the very meaning of good design.
And that brings us right up to today, where the whole conversation around packaging has done a complete 180. The big question is no longer just, is it recognizable? Now, it's, is it responsible? So Coca-Cola's design evolution is now being driven by a totally different problem, its environmental footprint. I mean, the classic glass bottle is iconic, and yeah, it's recyclable, but it's also heavy, which means it's super energy intensive to make and ship around the world. That's why the company's new focus is on innovations like this paper bottle prototype, something designed for a circular economy.
Now, this paper bottle is just the first step. It's definitely a work in progress. This initial version has a paper shell, but it still needs a plastic liner and cap to hold the carbonated liquid. The good news is that the plastic they're using is 100% recycled. But the end game, the ultimate goal, is to create a bottle that is entirely made from 100% recyclable materials.
And this is all part of a much, much bigger ambition. The company has set this massive goal for itself, a world without waste. The idea is that by 2030, for every single bottle or can they sell, they want to collect and recycle one. That is a huge undertaking.
So it kind of leaves you wondering, doesn't it? The story of this bottle, from solving for identity to now solving for sustainability, it's really a mirror of our own history. The original design brief was to be recognizable even when it was broken. Maybe the new design brief is for it to disappear completely, leaving no trace behind. We're here with a new topic every Tuesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe to Design the Future Together.